You're listening to The Taoist Corner with Patrick Stewart. Episode 37, I Want to Create a New Home for Spiritual Wisdom. Please join me after today's post for extra author's commentary. When a new social network named Mastodon appeared, I wanted to give it a chance since my Twitter days had long since passed since Elon's takeover. I opened my own website and began to write, sharing the posts I wrote through the social network. I created the moniker The Taoist Online since Taoism is the lens I choose to see the world through. Instead of everyone ignoring me, visitors to the site grew quickly and caught the attention of Deborah Harmon. She was extremely friendly and supportive and was well connected to many other excellent writers on a platform called Medium. Surprisingly, I joined Medium in 2013, just a year after it launched. I wrote an article about esports and moved on. Eventually, I decided to give Medium another try, opened a new account, and looked around for fellow thinkers who wrote about Taoism, philosophy, or just general spirituality. However, finding publications and users was difficult, and to some degree still is. I didn't see much of an audience, so I did what everyone does. I Googled it. How to grow your audience on Medium, a Google search that changed my life. One of the results suggested creating a publication, as the algorithm preferred accepted articles. I searched Medium for a publication about Taoism and didn't find one. Next, I searched for philosophy and spiritualism, but didn't find anything that fit my work. With only one option left, I created a publication and selfishly took the name from my old Wix website, The Taoist Online. Through various Discord channels and chat rooms, I discovered a few other writers looking for a home. There was a teenager from England who loved Stoicism, a kindred spirit from the US who loved Taoism, and a woman in Brazil who wrote about veganism. Soon, I had dozens of writers who wanted to help and share their journeys with the world. I accepted them all. In only our third month, the Taoist Online, TTO, reached 140,000 monthly viewers. My editing queue exploded, and I brought on several editors whom I tipped each month with my Medium payments. By the end of our first year, we reached 190,000 monthly viewers and accepted hundreds of writers who published hundreds of articles each month. Everyone was happy and healthy and loved the hard work. Tens of thousands of strangers came together each month to read, share, and connect, regardless of religion, faith, nationality, race, or gender. My publication, stupidly named after myself, became a massive force for change and wisdom online, until it wasn't. Medium provides 4 tools for writing a publication: the ability to create publications with a homepage, the ability for writers to submit articles to a publication, the ability for publishers to accept or deny articles, private notes from editors to the writer, and vice versa. That's it. As a publication owner, did you receive 50 article submissions today and you need to filter or sort them? Sorry, that feature isn't on the list. You should make a spreadsheet. Then make sure you all share and maintain it together forever. Did you need a method to communicate with your editors that isn't public comments on articles? Sorry, that isn't on the list either. Every private comment you leave for the writer, every editor will also be able to see. You should make a Discord or a Slack workspace or email each other all the time. Want to communicate with everyone who is a writer? Sorry, that's not on the list. You'll need to find them one at a time and ask them your question, or create an announcement page on your publication homepage and hope everyone reads it. I hope you have an email address for them, or else you'll go to private notes, where the notification can get buried under all of the other Medium notifications they receive. Despite these missing features, my team and I still managed to create one of the largest publications on philosophy and spirituality. However, running a pub like this caused personal problems between editors, writers who refused to follow rules, a never-ending email chain, and eventually, resentment. I resented Medium for not helping the people they depend on to keep their platform profitable, and writers for causing drama. I resented the publication for taking so much time away from my children so that I could edit, write, and manage. I wanted it to stop, but felt guilty if I stepped away. I owed my writers results and needed to carry on. Eventually, however, I just couldn't take it anymore. Taoism teaches us to let things come and then calmly let them go. Despite the money, notoriety, and success, I lost my love for writing, and that's how I knew it was time to go. So, in March 2024, I started an extended break to regain my passion. By December, I found myself in the middle of a nervous breakdown, and I was placed back on anxiety medication. I spent the next 90 days learning new routines at home with my family, remembering how to breathe, and finding joy in reading Tao Te Ching. I even wrote an article on politics, something I always refused to do. I returned to Medium in early February 2025, hoping to find a calmer, more enjoyable platform. While I was happy to write again, I was not happy with the state of affairs at Medium. Most of the editing team had left or stopped working, except for one person, Mr. Golden. Article submissions were far from their previous highs, and payments were down for everyone, everywhere. Views at the Taoist Online were down 90% to just 20,000 views per month. I connected with old writing friends and found many of them had moved to Substack, so I also posted a few articles there. To my surprise, my stories resonated too. I also met a fantastic group of talented individuals. While one platform felt alive and fun and created features that writers and readers could use, the other continued its decline. They hadn't implemented a single change to how editing queues were managed or how publications were maintained. Medium hadn't created any new forms of revenue other than charging more for the same subscriptions in hope that a few extra pennies could be shared around to those readers you read. They decided meta articles, posts about Medium, weren't worth paying for at all, in hopes that would boost payments to others. Next, they removed payments from the referral program, which had long since retired, but whose monthly payments had continued. Nearly everyone I knew lost views, reads, and payments. Their audience evaporated. We all exported our email subscribers and took them to new platforms in an attempt to hold on to the communities we had so desperately built. The final straw, however, occurred secretly around April 15th, 2025. Medium updated a support article regarding how the follower and subscriber features worked. Previously, followers and subscribers were separate. A follower worked like Twitter, adjusting your algorithmic feed to show you similar content. Subscribers would receive emails for every article you published. The ability to export your subscribers' emails and take the list with you is a standard and key feature in the publishing industry. If you want to give a TED Talk, get ready to be asked how many people are on your subscriber list. If you want a book deal or a public speaking engagement, how many are on your list? Whether it's from Substack, Vocal, Ghost, or any other major writing platform, the list can always be taken with you. While video social sites like TikTok or YouTube would never think about giving out subscriber email addresses, taking your email list with you is standard practice everywhere that encourages long-form content, but not on Medium. Not anymore. I began writing on Medium to share what I learned. I created a publication to allow others to learn, share, and grow. But how can we do that when writers can't control who sees their work? How can we do that when readers don't even see the writers they love in their feed? There's not even a tab to see only the people you follow. You either let everyone email blast you, hope they magically appear in your homepage feed, or you find your own method of connecting, just like I've always done. Find my own way. I love writing, sharing, learning, and growing. I don't love Medium. Instead, I love the idea of Medium, a place to gather and care for ourselves and each other. I realized this week that TTO can no longer fulfill its original purpose. The people who work tirelessly for it are mostly gone, and the audience who needs to read its wisdom and knowledge can't, because Medium makes it increasingly difficult to do so, as wave after wave of AI-generated garbage floods its submission queues. I can't ask any more writers to join a publication when the platform it sits on does so many things to make life difficult for young talent. As Medium CEO Tony Stubblebline said recently, I have two options: take TTO private with my own website, or two, move to a more open and accepting platform. I choose option 2. Medium is the Apple of writing platforms: clean, simple, and increasingly easy to open an account and immediately start writing. However, Medium has also begun to take on the bad aspects of Apple: no new features that users desperately need, platform lock-in, removing features people loved, for example, colorizing your homepage, deciding what is allowed to make money, not understanding the dangers and power AI has on their own industry. Starting June 1st, 2025, I will move the Taoist Online to Substack as a newsletter. Moving away from the online magazine format means I can slow down submissions and spend time with each article. This lessens the stress I place upon my family and allows each article to breathe. It also means that anyone subscribing to the Taoist Online on Substack will always stay with us no matter where we go, because Substack allows us to export email lists. Should Substack change this, I'll gladly move on and take our readers with us. Never again will I give a writing platform the ability to gatekeep everything so many have worked for, everything that I've worked for. I don't believe Medium has the best interests of readers and writers anymore. Substack isn't a perfect platform by any means, and it has its own quirks, problems, and feature issues, but at least I see them trying. Podcasts, video hosting, notes, and many other features are created for anyone who needs them. The possibilities are so great that even if it fails, I will have tried one final time to make TTO what it once was, what I always intended it to be: a free community publication for sharing and learning about philosophy, wisdom, and spirituality. I hope that you join us there too. We all need someone to pick us up, to guide us, and a place to share our struggles. Let's do it together at thedaoist.online. Thank you all, and goodbye, Medium. Hi everyone, Patrick here. I know this is a really different kind of podcast, and I debated whether or not to release it here since it isn't anywhere near what I typically talk about. But given the fact that the Taoist Online is how I really began writing in general, I thought it was important to at least get this off my chest and share it with you guys. The Taoist Online has been a labor of love for almost 3 years. With the exception of the few months off that I took for mental health reasons, I've spent every single day looking at cues, editing articles, trying to give tips and tricks to new writers or even experienced writers on how to bring their emotions and their personal stories to life for anyone who may come across them. Medium has always been my home away from home. It was so wonderful to have a place to share my stories that reached such a broad audience, and to then have that love returned from writers and readers from all over the world. I cannot explain exactly how I felt when a silly name that I chose just happened to become the name of this massive online organization with almost 200,000 readers a month, multiple editors, running a Discord server, running everything I could to try and coordinate this, and have it all come crashing down because of a very small number of people's decisions that are extremely unwelcome to feedback and communication. I'm, of course, speaking of the Medium staff. Now, I have met a number of Medium staff who are nothing but helpful, who really enjoy what they do, who want to make that platform as good as it possibly can be and still keep the business running. But when a platform is obviously in decline, whether it be through monetary payouts, views, reads, all of which these things we know because we've built these side communities based around Medium publications in the community. So we know the platform is a sinking ship. And when that platform decides that rather than build new features that would entice readers to either come back or join Medium to begin with, what they did instead was attempt to lock everybody in as close as possible. To be fair, the trade-off they've given on withholding your own email subscriber list from you is that now all of your followers will also be emailed every time you post. And yes, that is an obvious benefit, but you have to remember the platform is falling apart. So if things were going well and they implemented this change, great. Our audience would have exploded literally overnight. But what it seems like now is a desperate attempt to control the few people they have left. And for someone who writes about philosophy and faith and spirituality, I cannot support that kind of behavior, especially when the online writing industry is so open. You own your writing. You own your email subscribers. Everybody agrees to this, including Medium until very, very recently. So to watch that platform backtrack really just irked me in a way I couldn't move forward. I know this week has been a departure from my typical posts. I wanted to take a week to just pay it forward and talk about everything that's happened to me in my writing journey. But next week, it's back to basics. We'll dive deep back into the Tao Te Ching and get back into some Taoist teaching. I'll still only be writing for my own newsletter, The Taoist Corner, but the community publication will be The Taoist Online on Substack. I hope you'll join them there, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. Do you want to encourage others to follow the Tao? I'd appreciate any support you can provide at any level that's comfortable to you. You can support me for as little as $1 a month or $10 per year. Just go to thedaoistcorner.net/80OFF. That's 80 off. Thank you again, and I'll see you guys next time.